Hey guys, today I'm going to bring you a upper body workout with minimal to no equipment. I know right now a lot of the equipment is sold out online and a lot of you guys probably don't have a whole lot of spare money to outfit yourself with a full home gym. The good news is that you do not need very much equipment to get an excellent upper body workout in. If you want to get world class, you want to get super strong, you're probably going to need some special equipment. But if you just want to be much stronger than the average person and improve your upper body strength, you do not need much equipment at all. So let's go over it. Alright guys, first up is push-ups. Push-ups are great, you can do them anywhere. They're a great movement for your chest, front of your shoulders, your triceps, and they also work some core stability also. So if you're just getting started on push-ups, aim for 2 to 3 sets of up to 20 reps. If you have to start out at 0 reps, you have to start out on your knees, that's perfectly fine. If you have to start out with your hands on top of something, so let's say you go to the stairs and you're not strong enough to do a full push-up, you can start with your hands on the stairs like this, at less of an angle so you're using less of your body weight. If you need to make it even easier than that, come up a step, and then you can progress down each stair as you're getting stronger. Once you can do flat ground push-ups, do whatever's manageable for you. You know, if you can only do a couple sets of 5, work on that every other day. Once you get strong enough to go up to 2 to 3 sets of 20 reps with good push-ups, nice even pace down and back, chest to the floor, and all the way to the top. Once you can do that for a couple sets of 20 reps, you can move on to some more advanced progressions. I'll link a video in the description here about a video I did a while back on progressing push-ups from beginner on your knees or on the stairs to advanced variations of even going up upside down on the wall and doing handstand push-ups. So check that video out if you're interested in some more progressions for push-ups. Alright, next up we're going to do what I call Ytm Shoulder Raises. So you're going to come down on the ground, put your forehead onto the ground, lift the arms overhead, not directly overhead, but a little bit out to the side, and then we're going to raise off the ground into the letter Y here. Don't wrench your neck up like this while you're doing it. Keep your forehead down on the ground and try not to put any tension in these neck muscles. Okay, keep the neck relaxed. Raise as high as you can. Hold for a couple seconds and then come down. Then we're going to go to a T. So we're going to have hands out to the sides directly. Again, keeping that neck relaxed. Using the shoulders muscles to come up as far as you can and hold. Not overly stressing and working as hard as you possibly can. Do a nice comfortable range of motion. Once you hit to the top, hold there for about 2 seconds. And then lastly the M. So hands down to the sides, and you can have either the backs of your palms facing up or your palms facing up. Once again, neck relaxed while you're doing them. Not arching your back or anything. Just laying perfectly flat on the ground and only working those shoulder muscles, keeping the tension out of the neck and back. Good one to work up for this is 3 sets of 5 each movement non-stop through. So you lay down, go 5 Ys, 5 Ts, 5 Ms. 3 sets through. Alright guys, now that we've built a little bit of strength in that posterior shoulder, we're going to make it a little bit more challenging. So this next one, it's basically going to be like you're putting your hands behind your back if you were to get handcuffed. Hopefully that never happens, but this is what that'll look like. Start out with the hands above, hands and arms above the head here. You're going to pick them up off the ground, tuck behind your head, and then come around. Rotate those palms to the ceiling and then rest on your back. Lift up, palms facing the ceiling. Once you get to about the T height here, rotate them up and over, and then onto the head. Good one to shoot for this is 2 sets of 10 reps. All right, so after doing some push-ups and some posterior strengthening, we should begin to get some good strength in the arms and shoulders for this next one. So you're gonna wanna put your feet up onto an elevated surface, such as stairs here. You're gonna be basically a push-up position. You're gonna bring one hand a little bit closer to the midline, and you're gonna use that hand as a pivot point. You can use the other arm to reach over and under, slinging through here, and then we're gonna come back with it. All right, so basically what we're doing here, we're using this shoulder as a pivot point, and we are rotating the rib cage and the shoulder blade around that arm. So up to here, rotate down, nice, slow and controlled, through, and then back up, just basically threading the needle from the top here, using that arm, slow and controlled. I'm rotating my rib cage and my shoulder joint around that fixed arm, through, and back up. Again, with this one, work up to 2 sets of 10 reps. Alright guys, so those movements and some of the movements in my advanced push-up video will help you strengthen the triceps, the shoulders, posterior and anterior, and the pecs. The only thing we're really missing with this workout here is the biceps, the lats, the teres major, the rhomboid, some of these other pulling muscles. So it's very hard to do that without any equipment. I'll show you some workarounds that you can do with stuff you have lying around the house and some inexpensive equipment you can buy to just take your workouts to the next level. All right guys, let's say you really don't have one dime to spend on any workout equipment. What you can do, if you have a bigger, sturdier kitchen table, you can do inverted rows on this. So come underneath the table here, hands on the top, gripping, and you can pull up right here using the biceps and the lats and the muscles in the back of the shoulder to pull you up. If this is too challenging, bend the legs and use the glutes and the hamstring muscles in the legs to also help you pull up. So as you can see here, I'm using my hips and my leg muscles to also pull me up if my upper body isn't strong enough to do this. Once you get stronger, you can straighten those legs, and then there's less contribution from the glutes and hamstrings, more work for the upper body pulling muscles. To make that even more challenging, you can do holds. So pull up, hold at the top for up to 5 seconds per rep. All right guys, again, if you don't have any equipment at all, you can use something around the house. Use a milk jug, fill it with water, fill it with rocks, fill it with dirt. Just figure something heavy out that you can lift. Lean up against an object here, and you can do some rows with these. Alright guys, now let's say you do have a little bit of free weights, whether that be dumbbells, whether that be kettlebells, whether that be sandbags, or anything of that sort. You can do rows with that same equipment. A couple different ways you can do it. If you got a dumbbell or kettlebell or whatever implement here, you can do a bent over row. Using 2 arms, obviously going to be the easiest, and this way you're also working that spine and hip stability, holding yourself bent over. You can move on to single arm if the double arm is not challenging enough for you. Come over, get into like a slight squatted lunge position right here. You can put a knee, or you can put a hand on the knee to make it more stable. And then you can do your rows like this. If you want to get some more hip and spine involved, get rid of this stability hand here. If that's too hard and it's too hard to sit into a lunge, you can just put a hand up on a piece of furniture or something, put it on a kitchen table, put it on whatever makes it easier for you. All right, so if you got a kettlebell, also you can do kettlebell curls. Just hold the handle like this, bring it up to work the biceps and the other elbow flexors. You could also just hold right around the ball like this. If you have dumbbells, obviously, you can do dumbbell curls. And I like to switch up the hand position too. You can do, depending on how heavy your dumbbells are, we'll go from easiest to hardest version. Palms facing up, curling is going to be the easiest version. Palms facing each other, so a neutral grip is going to be the next easiest option. And then palms facing down, reverse grip is going to be the hardest option. If you don't, let's say you only have access to 10-pound dumbbells and you could curl them probably 100 times each. There's a couple ways to make it harder. Like I said, doing the reverse grip would make it harder, but also just doing some isometric holds. So you can go halfway up right here with one while you do the set with the other arm. So let's say we're doing a set of 10 here. The one arm is holding while the other is doing 10 reps. Once you finish that, hold with the other arm, switch over. So this arm is getting the concentric, eccentric workout, lifting the weight up and down, while the other one is doing an isometric contraction in the most difficult part to hold it. That's a good way to progress. All right, now let's say you have a band with you. Now we can do a little bit more. So first up, we can do band pull aparts. Grab the band like this, and then just pull it apart. Similar to doing the T on the ground, only this time, when you're on the ground, you're only getting this much range of motion because the ground is blocking you. This way, we can go all the way from here out. So it's a bigger range of motion, more strengthening of the muscles. Obviously, to make it easier, choke up less on the band. To make it harder, choke up more on the band. And then on this one, we can shoot for 3 sets of 15 reps. Once that gets a little too easy for you, we can add in another stimulus here. We can step on the band, and then we can do a lateral raise, or a front raise actually, and then we can pull apart. So this one, not only are you pulling the band apart using your posterior muscles to pull the band, you're also using your anterior muscles to hold steady right here. So again, front raise, pull apart. This one you can do anywhere from 10 to 15 reps, 2 to 3 sets. Also, for the frontal raise here, we can just do a frontal raise. To make it easier, bring your feet together, less resistance on the band, raise overhead. To make it harder, step wide, and then you got more tension in that band. Again, on this one, 10 to 15 reps, 2 to 3 sets. And then, lastly, we can do rows with the band also. So, probably the easiest way to do this would be to get into a wide lunge stance here. You can do rows with the band. This is the easy version. To make it harder, reach down and grab that other end of that band too. then this is pretty challenging right here. 10 to 15, switch to the opposite arm. And then lastly, for the band, we can also do curls. So again, hardest version, palms facing the ceiling. Then we can do neutral grip, palms facing each other, and palms facing up. To make it more challenging, take a wide stance to make it easier. Take a narrow stance. Also, you can just do one arm at a time. So doing one arm is obviously going to be harder than doing both arms at the same time. For bicep curls, again, 10 to 15, 2 to 3 sets. All right, guys, next up, one of the best choices for home gym equipment would be some gymnastics rings. So I have these ones just down in the basement. I have them drilled a hole through the support beams here, put a little eyelet screw, and then I got a big carabiner, and then I got the rings here. So very versatile setup here. You can do, these are adjustable, so you just unlatch that little fastener there. You can pull them all the way down to the ground or leave them up here. So with these rings, you can do pull-ups. And pull-ups, I know, are a very advanced exercise. So this is something you may just have to skip if you're not ready for this. Work on the rows and other pulling variations that are easier. If you're starting out at a pretty good strength to body weight ratio, you can definitely put some pull-ups in there. For me and for most people, the easiest version is going to be palms facing you, and then the next easiest version will be palms facing each other. Palms facing away from you will be the hardest version. So again, with pull-ups, I really like to work up to 3 sets of 15 if you can. So all the way down, shoulders completely overhead, elbows completely locked out, and then pulling until the elbows are tucked to the body. Nice thing about gymnastics rings too is they can rotate and move around a little bit. When you're on a pull-up bar and you're locked in one place, it's a little bit harder on the elbow and the shoulder and the wrist if you don't have good mobility to get yourself into those positions. So the gymnastics rings will move with you a little bit and help you, and it's just a little easier on the joints. So on the gymnastics rings, again, you can also do inverted rows. So ideally you would have a wall to back your feet up against, but if you don't, you can just put them on the ground. And just like we did on the table, if you bend your legs and use your legs and hips for help, it's easier. If you straighten your legs all the way out, it's more challenging. And again, on these too, on the rings, you can have your palms facing away from you, your palms facing towards each other, or your palms facing you. I really like mixing up the grips just because it gives you a little bit more stimulus and a little different stimulus on the forearms and shoulders and biceps too. So just varying it up a little bit just ensures that you're not getting the same exact pattern every single time, and it will kind of prevent some of those overuse injuries if you're doing a ton of pulling exercises, if you get that hand grip variety in there. All right, now I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the entire workout for you guys, and I'll leave the sets and reps up here for what you want to shoot for to have some good general upper body strength.